right, let's go.
What's up, well community?
I like the hype over there. Hype. All right. Well, welcome everybody to Marriage Monday with Living Well Marriage. We are your hosts, Daniel and Kendra Tillman, and our partners over there,
Dennis and Angela.
Hey, y'all.
Yep. So the Tillmans, we hang out in hot Arizona, and Bulldogs, they always hanging out where the weather pretty much stays pretty mild.
It was beautiful today. I mean, it wasn't hot.
Why are you rubbing it in?
I'm just saying. I used to do that when I was in Arizona. When I was talking to my people up in Michigan, I'd be like, during the wintertime, I'd be by the pool and I'm trying to take selfies. And I'm like, y'all gonna deal with snow? We got sun.
You're wrong.
Now we got the beach.
Yeah. I will say it's not that bipolar out here. It's like just a.
Yeah, we saw us getting triple digits already in Phoenix.
Oh, is it triple digits already?
It got close. Did it hit 100? Yeah. One day
it was 101 on our thing. Yeah.
Because I remember Kendra was pointing at the dash.
I was so mad.
This ain't right.
It's just me.
This is me.
Hey, but on Thursday it's gonna be 78 there.
Yeah. I mean, they're kind of like bipolar.
Right.
Like, make up your mind. But hey, we'll take 70. We'll take 70 any day of the year that we can.
Yeah.
Did y'all feel any aftershocks of the earthquake they had in California?
I didn't even know they had one. Did you?
No.
I was in a meeting with somebody who lives there, and it's like their screen started going like this, and I was like, "What's happening?" And they're like, "Oh, I think we're having an earthquake." And I was like, "Oh my God, are you having an earthquake?" And they were they were so chill and calm about it, and I was like, "Oh my God, do you need to get off the phone?" Like they were like, "Oh yeah, it's an earthquake."
Yeah, so we're over here having random talks with our live, people. So welcome to our, we don't see the Tillmans, we just all so excited, and so we just
right. We're like our friends.
Yeah, we're excited to have y'all here too. We're excited to have y'all can interact and be a part of the conversation as well. That's just how we flow, bro. That's just how we flow.
That's how we flow.
So tonight, what are we talking about, y'all? What are we discussing?
We're talking about communication that connects.
Yes.
And it's funny, we were just behind the scenes having some conversations about some of the content that we're thinking about pulling out and pushing out. And a major theme is communication. And a reason it is a major theme is because in y'all's 20, 30 years and our 20, 30 years, we see similar patterns, and one of those is we don't know how to talk to each other.
Yeah.
And so tonight, that's what we want to talk about. We want to talk about the fact that you can have some skill where this area is concerned. You can learn. You don't have to be stuck in the rut that you've been in for so long. I know when the ego went out, the question was, why
do we keep having the same argument?
Yes. Why do we keep having the same argument? We keep trying to do it the same way we've always been doing it. Right. So we haven't added any new skills or any skill about communication on how we can get past talking past each other and get to the place where we're actually communicating in a way that we're receiving what one another is saying. So that's what we want to get into tonight is communication. And it's one of the top reasons that because we do it badly, it's one of the top reasons we argue, drift apart, or feel misunderstood. Right? Yeah. So that's why I want to start it up tonight with this. So how do we stop doing that? How do we stop talking past each other and start truly hearing each other? Because let's be real. Having a honest conversation or having one of them crucial conversations, it can be hard.
Yeah.
It can be difficult. And when we start, when the stakes are high, we can start saying things that sound kind of mean, kind of harsh, kind of like the weather did to us the other day. Just pain. Right. So if that's you, right, if you're listening right now or on replay, and you feel like, we having this same conversation over and over and over again, and I feel the same type of way I felt the last time we had this conversation, drop a little something in the chat and say, yeah, that's me, that's us, and we want to get better at it. We all need to get better at it, right? We're all always constantly evolving. So let's dig into why it happens and what we can do to make a shift. All right. So this shows up in a few ways, and let's talk about 3 common patterns. And if you guys have some other insights beyond what we've kind of put into these particular areas here, let me know, and we can go there too. We can flow into that. So number 1, fixing instead of listening. So I think that's one of the issues that we have. I remember even now, and we were sharing this with a premarital couple that we were doing some premarital stuff with the other day. And I told him, I was like, I had that problem where Kendra would come to me and she would be like, well, this and this is going on. And immediately my engineering mind jumps to, well, let's see how we can fix that. And when I would look at her face, it would be like, I was like, I thought I was helping, but the facial expressions aren't saying help, or saying that you're doing anything that I want you to do. So I learned over time that my marriage is not an engineering problem to fix, right? Or the problems that Kendra brings to me aren't like my little problems at work that I need to fix. She just wanted me to listen, and that was what I had to develop. How to just listen and not jump into problem-solving mode. What about what y'all got to say?
Well, I was thinking part of the reason why I think that happens is because it's like, okay, why are we talking about this if we're not trying to fix it? Right. So it's like people don't necessarily want to just talk about it. They feel like there needs to be an answer, because even when we talk about, just if you think about any topic that's happening in the world right now, as soon as you try to have a conversation with people about it, they're like, well, what should we do about it? And it's like, well, can we first talk about the problem before we try to start working on how to fix the problem?
Yeah.
So I think that happens in marriage too.
Yeah. I think it's an interesting dynamic, and I'm not sure culturally things have changed. I hear a lot about the problems, and I don't hear about the solutions. But I will be one of the first people to say, yes, when Angie brings up certain things, I am trying to fix it. I am thinking about a solution. Even my mind has tendencies of like, oh, you could do this. Man, this would probably be so nice if you thought about it this way. But I have to say this. Because I feel like the men, we need you to listen and stop telling us how to fix it. Listen to the problem first.
I'm like, where he going with
No,
this?
I feel like sometimes you ladies, you be doing the same thing.
Yeah, I do the same thing.
My wife would be like, you need to pray about it. I'm like, I just need you to listen to me. Okay, I'm having a hard time. I'm trying to release, and you want me to go to the Lord. Okay, I'm going to go to the Lord, but right now I need you to listen.
So why do you think it's so challenging to just listen? To when someone comes to you with a problem, why is it challenging to just listen to what they're saying and not try to fix it?
I personally think this is me speaking. This is no science. I ain't read no books, no articles. I just think our flesh is like, you know what I mean? Like our flesh is like, I got something to say. I just think it's hard on people's flesh at times just to sit back, not make it about me, not make it about protecting myself, not making it about what I think you should do, not making it about what my opinion is to you, and just making it neutral. It's not about anything about me. I'm just listening to you. It's, to me, listening is probably one of the most unselfish things you're just like, it's not about me. It's not about what I think you should do. I am just literally just listening. It's so hard.
I think that's good, because I think we do have tendencies. We're not necessarily selfish, but we are. And I think sometimes when we, somebody brings up a subject or something like that, and they'd be like, you know what? I just read that the other day, and I'm about to expound on what I just read. I felt so grateful that you brought this information up to me, and I read this in the article. And so now I want to teach the other person what I've learned. And so sometimes it could be a little selfish. It's not about you at this moment. It's about listening to the other person.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think we have tendencies. I think it's one of those things that we can be unconsciously or unaware that we're like this. It's kind of like, I'm sorry about this. It's kind of like your breath might be stinking, but you're not aware of it. You're just not aware. And everybody, man, you don't smell that.
Wow.
I think that is an excellent analogy. Excellent analogy.
So another part I think is that we don't feel like the things that come out of listening is actually doing it.
Yeah. Okay.
So I read Highly Effective 7 Habits, right, of Highly Effective People. I'm sure we've all read it. If you haven't read it, it's a great book.
It's an excellent
check it out. Yeah. And in there it talks about the skill of listening to understand.
Yes.
Right. And most of us, we have these ears, and we listen so that we can say something.
Yeah.
Trying to formulate how I'm going to tell you what we need to do. And when we do that, we don't even hear the problem that's being stated.
Yeah.
Right? So we end up trying to get fix the wrong thing anyway, because we didn't hear what the problem
That's
was.
right. We fixed the wrong thing because we were not listening to understand.
Yep. And in marriage, what that kind of looks like, sometimes how that plays out is your wife, and I can tell you with my wife, sometimes she just want a hug, or just want support, or just listen to what I'm saying. I'll solve the problem. I just want somebody to talk to right now.
Yes.
And when I learned that, I was like, wow. And to be honest, it's a lot less work to do that than to try to figure out how to fix something.
Yeah.
So if we
ain't it though?
That's what I'm saying.
To just listen.
Yes, just sit back, listen, and do stuff like, oh yeah. Hold up. Wow.
No.
Wow.
And it's sincere. We not talking.
It is sincere. Yes.
Sincere.
It's learning to be sincere is, I think, a skill. Not just trying to rush to solving a problem.
Yeah, I would like to say that also. I feel like communication. When we say communication, I think not all people, but I think when we talk about communication, it's always about feedback. It's always about the response. And so when I hear you say something, I gotta say something back. I got to, verbalize and give you some feedback, because that's communication. But we forget about the power of listening, and that's a communication too. And I think sometimes we in our heads we're thinking, I got to give you a response, and often you'll be like, when I don't say nothing, I'm listening. Okay.
I'm sorry.
I was like, he looks nice in a suit.
So,
I'm so sorry.
can't fix that.
Rich Graves. But
I'm sorry, Dennis. Keep going.
sometimes
I was listening.
Yeah. You over there doing something else. You're not listening to me.
Oh, I promise I'm listening.
People out there hears me and they're listening to me. But check this out. I know sometimes when I don't say nothing back, I do. Sometimes I'm like, my wife, she's talking to me, and she should be like, so what do you think? And then I'm like, okay, did you want me to listen? Or you want a response?
I want both. Like for me, like if he doesn't respond, it feels like, were you listening? Like if I finish talking and he says absolutely nothing, I'm like, so do you have any feedback? And it may be because like we're both the same way. He'll say some stuff, I'll go into fix it mode. I'll tell him some stuff and he goes into fix it mode. So it's kind of like when I'm done talking, if he doesn't have anything to say, I don't even feel like he was listening.
No. Me say that before the narrative get changed. So I'm gonna tell
so
her.
Animated tonight.
I'm going to tell on her. So I'll be talking to her. I'm talking, Angela. So anyway, I'll be talking, and then she'd be on her phone.
Not all the time.
Some of the times. And she knows me. I want you to look at me. I want you to be listening.
He has an adult tantrum. He'll just stop talking and look at me until I
See, you didn't need to say all that. But yes. So I need her attention. I want you to look at me. So sometimes I'll be listening or I'll be talking, and then she's on her phone playing that little yeah. 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 That's caused some conflict and misunderstandings a lot of times because you're on your phone.
Okay, babe.
Yeah, and I mean, I feel like you do make a really good point. It's like part of listening is also your body, right? Your body language is a part of listening, because we don't just hear with our ears, we also hear with our eyes, right?
Yeah.
When you're hearing someone, so I can say a lot to you if I'm
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
That's it. Wrap it up. You're annoying me. Wrap it up.
Yes, right. So it's like there's a lot to this, in being present with the person that you're talking to, so that they understand that what you're saying matters to them. Because we all want to feel heard. We all want to feel understood. And I even feel like, and I'm curious to hear if you all agree, that when a lot of the reasons why people come to counseling is especially when they're coming with a spouse, or they're about to get married, a lot of it is people just want to be heard. And sometimes the only way to be heard is to have another person that can help you guys hear each other.
Yeah.
So we're talking about communication that connects, and one of the issues that I'm hearing in our conversation is that part of the problem or the reason we're not connecting is because we're not listening to understand. We're listening to fix a problem, and that's why we keep having the same conversation over and over again, on the same argument over and over again. Because every time I talk to you, you're trying to fix my problem, and that's not what I need right now.
Can I share something?
Oh, absolutely.
So Daniel talked about the seven habits of highly effective people by Stephen Covey. This is such an old book, and it's still so good even all these years later. And in the section about seeking first to understand, then to be understood, it talks about empathetic listening. And he says 3 basic skills to use when listening empathetically: rephrase content, reflect feeling, ask questions for better understanding. And we have absolutely seen this when we do premarital counseling, is encouraging couples to actually look at each other. Like, they're, because we're usually in a setting like this. And so we'll have them turn to each other, and the person is talking, and then we'll say, because they be wanting to respond right away, right? So then it catches them off guard when you say, "Now, what did she say?" And it'll be like, "Oh, wait, was I supposed to be listening? I was just waiting for my turn," right? And so then they have to say back what the person said to them, and then we'll say, "Well, what else did you hear them say?" Right? That's when they can rephrase, like, because okay, well, the person may have said a lot of things, but what I heard them say was this, right? And then also people can ask questions, right? Because sometimes you actually need to clarify, because what I thought I heard you say was this. Was that what you were actually saying?
Yep.
And then the person would be like, "No, that's not what I was saying at all."
So you made some powerful points right there. Just in the moment, what came to mind was when you said, "Turn to them," and I turn to you. When I turn to you and I'm looking into your eyes, that is also saying things to you, right? That's saying I'm connecting with. That's saying I'm listening, because we got the eye-to-eye contact.
Yes.
And then the other one was, rephrase or restate what you heard, because again, they could have said a whole lot of things, but you only heard what stood out to you.
Yes.
But they don't know what stood out to you.
That's right.
Unless you say that.
Yeah.
Those are all good. Oh,
I think let me ask you guys a question. How come this is not taught in schools? You know, like I just why you had that book and you ran off, certain things. Imagine if this is, finances and communication were taught in school. You're learning how to communicate. I don't feel like you have to wait till you get into a college, level, education to learn about communication.
right.
And I felt, and the reason why I brought that up is that I feel like a reason why a lot of people have these issues is that they're not taught how to communicate properly.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
you do get it in some of the like academies that are like college prep or leadership academies. Like they even may be driving some of their curriculum based on things like this, 7 habits or leadership principles, things like that. But I think you're right. You shouldn't have to go to a leadership academy
Mhm.
learn how to do communication.
And why don't you learn it at home?
Yeah.
You know what
Mhm.
I think that's where people should actually be learning it. They should be learning it from their family of origin, should be teaching them these things. I'm not saying that they will, because they may not know themselves, right?
And that there lies the problem.
Yeah, exactly.
They
That's the problem.
They didn't get it. Right?
Yeah.
So I like Dennis's idea of kind of putting it into
a curriculum at school
or at school, into our institutions. So
absolutely.
now at least the children get it. So when they are older and having their kids, they go, this was great. I'm glad I learned this early. You're gonna learn this at home, right? So
there's actually a school. I don't know if can't remember if it was here, but I remember when our kids were younger. There is a school in Arizona, and I think it's in the Kyrene School District, where they actually use 7 Habits of Highly Effective People as a part of their curriculum. So those kids are learning these types of, things. So,
all right. So one more.
I think it's being taught. I mean, not that though. I just think communication is being taught. It's just the question is it healthy communication versus dysfunctional communication? But we're all learning some way of communicating. If you grew up and all you did was everybody screamed at each other, everybody yelled at each other, that's what you like, that's what I'm used to, right? If you grew up and, sometimes we have counseling sessions with people and they're like, our parents didn't show emotion. There was no affection, wasn't no kisses and hugs. That's just how it was. You know what I mean? So I think we are learning communication and nonverbal communication. Is your mom looking at you with eyes of compassion or is she grimming you? Like, we're learning. It's just we need to make it a focus to teach our kids the right way to do it.
Oh, yes. Dennis, look.
What?
She said
that's why we miss you.
Oh, amen. Miss you too. Miss you too. Don't let me cry.
Have one of your students, Dennis?
He can't see everything over here. So
it says that why we miss you, Mr. B.
It's Marie Jean.
Let me see. I'll look up. Go ahead. Y'all keep going.
So I wanted to kind of respond to her because when she said there's a right way to communicate and a wrong way.
Yes.
Is the wrong way communication?
Tell me more.
So when you
staff. That's somebody from the staff.
Miss you too. So is
the wrong way for communication?
So is the wrong way to communicate?
Okay.
Is that communication? So you're saying I communicated wrong?
Yeah.
Is that so what is it communicating?
So for example, when Kendra did her thing, and I was like, "Ooh, she just communicated for me to wrap it up." She said to me,
"You talking about with the popcorn?" Okay, no, I'm sorry.
he is awesome tonight.
All right.
The body language.
So
body language. She still communicates. Yeah.
Two more things here on this communication. So one we're talking about one of the problems that why we keep going around and around this circle is trying to fix instead of listen.
Mhm.
Number 2 is interrupting or zoning out. And Dennis, I think you're gonna have a little bit to say on this one because I'm here every time we're talking about communication, you jump on this one, and it's sometimes we listen to respond, not to understand. So we talked about that. Or we're distracted. I see you like the word distracted by our phones, TV, or just mentally tired. What do you guys think? Let's talk about that. Interrupting or zoning out due to distractions.
Well, I would love to hear Marie because she's one of my island sisters, and so I would love to hear from you, Marie. But check this out. I think distractions is an enemy to communication because that's why that's why things are so misunderstood. You know what I'm saying? So because just like you're saying with the book, let me repeat back, and I'm have to do that with the kids. I'm learning the skill and art with my wife. We've been developing, growing in our communication, and now I feel like I got to transfer this over to the kids, especially Lauren, because we always bumping heads, and so I get distracted. You get distracted by tone, how something said. And a lot of times that's me and Lauren's problem. I might say something with some tone, and instantly she feels it. I don't want to go any further with this because you're already with some tone. So now that's a distraction. But I mean, if you throw in, TV and all this other type of stuff, then it's just like, I don't even know how you're listening because you're trying to, you're what?
I didn't want to, I just distracted you.
You were interrupting.
Yes, that's a distraction right there.
I do interrupt. I know I do.
Interruptions. You didn't let me finish what I had to say. That's a good one. That was good.
I think for me with interrupting is I can tend to be forgetful. And so it's like I'm trying to say it before I forget. But what I was saying is I think one of the biggest distractions in communication for me is triggers, personally.
Yeah, that is.
Elaborate. What do you mean?
So for example, tone for me is a huge trigger, right? He's gotten a lot better, right? A lot. He is so animated. But he's gotten better. But anytime I would feel tone from him and my body's triggered, because your body gets triggered first and then you respond or whatever. I'm so focused on trying to either get myself to calm down and be able to not be focused on my trigger so I can actually listen to what he's saying. Or I'm actually having self-talk with myself. I'm literally talking to God, or I'm talking to myself, and I'm talking, saying, Angela, you're safe, you're fine, it's okay. So the things that I've learned through my trauma coach or through counseling, I'm doing those things, whether I'm going like this, or I'm going like this, or I'm breathing or whatever, to calm my body down, because my emotions have become they're not regulated, right? So I'm going into fight, flight, or freeze, and I'm not I can't hear really good because I'm trying to calm myself down. And then to me, when I'm not doing those things, my automatic when I hear tone is to shut down. I just shut down and I am not in the conversation. So I'm also trying to keep myself in the conversation. So I don't know if that makes any sense to y'all, but that's my life.
But so again, that's something that needs to be taught, because if I go into a relationship and I haven't been talking about what triggers are, I mean, we might know what the word means, but if I don't know I'm being triggered, but I don't know that I'm being triggered.
Or you need to know what your spouse's triggers are too.
Well, I'm just saying that's the thing that I'm trying to say, that sometimes this is not taught. We get into a relationship, we're all lovey-dovey at the very beginning. We're nice, our tone is correct.
We got our PR person.
Yeah. And then when life happens or something happens or everything like that, if I haven't been educating myself on my own triggers, I hadn't dealt with my own stuff, because it's one thing to be saying I'm self-aware. Okay, that's good to say that word self-aware, but the other part is you got to deal with, now you know what your self-aware is, you got to deal with it. And I feel like a lot of people don't deal with it. They may know certain things, but they need to do certain things about it. So I'm just thinking about when you say trigger.
I'm going to ask you, Dennis, where in our life, from the time we get to that point where we're dating and then we're getting married, where in there you're saying we need to be taught? Where does that come in? Where you're taught, hey, you need to know your spouse's triggers.
Well,
because what I know, or what I think today, at least what I'm observing from premarital counseling and the things that we do, is you kind of learn on the job, right? When you get into marriage, you trip over one of them triggers and it blows up, and now you're like, oh, you don't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
Even I think, to me, one of the things about triggers is you don't necessarily know that a trigger is a trigger until it happens, right? So, and you may not even recognize that that is what is actually happening. So I remember in the early years of marriage, I mean, I'm sure even now, but I'm thinking back to, I remember there would be times when Daniel would say something to me where I felt like he was trying to control me. He wasn't, but that's how it felt to me, right? So I would say that that is a trigger, and I didn't know that that was a trigger for me until it happened. So in that moment, I was like, I was wondering after the fact, why did that make you so mad? Like, it wasn't even that big of a deal. But then when I was thinking back to it, I was like, you know why? It felt like something else that had happened in the past, not with him, but in other situations, right? So that's when I was like, oh, I didn't use the word trigger back then, but I was like, oh, that's what it was. So whatever happened in that moment with him reminded me of something else that happened where I felt like I was being controlled, right? So you're not going to necessarily know all of your triggers, because they don't all happen all of the time, right? And they don't happen, you're not necessarily even familiar with what they are until they happen.
Yeah, I think that's a good analogy, because I think when we come to the point of asking why, I think that's where we started asking ourselves that question. Like, why? I would literally say, why do I get so upset about this? Why when she does this, I'm upset automatically. And so again, I didn't know it was a trigger, but as you start trying to go back and then you try to soul search, you try to, ask yourself, okay, I think the reason why is I have something in my past that I did not deal with, because we always say, I'm good. You good? Yeah, I'm good. And you're really not good because you hadn't really dealt with the things. And now that you become self-aware, now it's time to, now you're saying, now it's time to deal with it. I got to deal with this. And I think it's the why. When I started asking myself the why, then clarity started to come in. I was like, oh, so this is what happened. When this happened back when I was younger, this is what I'm feeling. And it's triggering. This is where the trigger response came from.
And to me, it is like me doing my own coaching sessions, but with myself, meaning like I'm asking myself questions, and I keep asking deeper and deeper questions. And I'm asking Holy Ghost to help me while I'm asking myself these questions, because a lot of times I'll hit like a wall and I'll be like, I don't know. And then I'll invite God and say, Lord, please show me. Because I was like, who knows you better than your maker, right? I'm like, Lord, show me, what is this? And he'll help me to drill it down. And then when I get drill it down, I feel like when we say deal with it sometimes, or I'll say in counseling a lot, process it. Like you need to process that. I think what we're saying is like, is there forgiveness that needs to happen? Is it forgiveness of yourself? Is it coming out of agreement with something you believe that's not true? There's just certain things that, because sometimes it's like you said, Kendra, this is not, Daniel's not doing this. Daniel's not, but it feels like Dan, you know what I mean? So sometimes it's having that self-conversation with yourself. Like, is this really truly happening? Is this a true statement? Is this a true, just because you're feeling it, is it true kind of thing? And that's helped me a lot. But did that make sense? I know we kind of went around whatever, but when I was saying how I feel like my triggers can be distracting, did that make sense? I didn't know if I
made perfect sense.
Okay.
To me, there was nothing unclear about what you
Oh,
said.
okay. I wasn't sure. Okay.
No, it made perfect sense with exactly what you said. And and I think the way that you explained it, I really think it's gonna be very helpful for other people that, you know, maybe they don't even know that that's what that is, right?
Mhm.
They might not even know, oh, I'm being triggered by what this person is doing. And something else you said that I wanted to highlight is that inviting, you know, do we invite the Holy Spirit into how we're processing a situation in the moment? So like this is a conversation we've had with premarital counseling couples, but also it's something that it took me I would say some years, to be honest, to learn how to do this with my daughter Dennis, so I can relate. That I would, she and I, we both like the temperature just keep rising higher and higher and higher, right? Because you kind of feel yourself coming up out of your body because you're so angry or frustrated in the moment. And so learning how to do it in the moment, right? So I'm curious because this was a question even that one of the premarital counseling couples, they asked, is like, how do you do it in the moment? Because I think that's what gets people in trouble, is that they haven't learned, not people, us.
Yeah.
That's what gets us in trouble sometimes, is that we don't always know how to do this in the moment.
Yeah. I think it takes practice. And especially in your relationship, it's what's going to work, who's going to be aware and then take action at that particular time. So it might be as simple as, okay, the temperature is rising. Hold on.
Yeah, let's
yeah,
pause.
time out. Or this nonverbal communication. Time out. We need to pray. We need to pray right now because I'm getting upset. I can tell that I'm upset. And can we pray? And so if we're believers, then this is something that we can, definitely use. And then I know my wife talked about many different other things that you can add in, maybe breathing techniques, all that other type of stuff, while a person is communicating to you. And it might be strong communication, but what you're doing is somebody has to somewhat give in. Somebody has to be the mature person at this particular time and say, okay, and it might be her in that moment. It might be me at another moment.
Yeah.
But once we know this and we begin to practice it and we can start seeing this, then somebody got to take action, whether it's the husband or the wife. And then we got to submit and surrender at that particular moment. It's not convenient. It's not comfortable.
Yeah.
And it's something that you can't control. And I think where people want to be at is I want to control it. I want it to be convenient and I want it to be comfortable. And it's not. And so I think at that moment, I got to surrender and submit to my wife at that particular time and say, you know what? I need some prayer right now because I'm getting upset. And so somebody got to wave the white flag and say, listen, we're not going nowhere with this.
And it takes lots and lots of practice. I feel like the more I've healed with stuff, the more I feel like what healing does is, like in counseling, we have like an ABC model, and the A is like awareness, right? And a lot of times when you are angry, when you are reacting, when you are triggered, you are not going to the B part, is the processing, like thinking about it, like what is happening. And then the C is the action. I think a lot of us just go from like action, like this happened, to action. And so to me, like the more I've healed,
Right.
Oh,
no,
amen.
I'm agreeing with you.
Okay. So to me, the more I've healed, it's kind of like, for example, I did a women's conference thing years ago in Arizona, and I gave my testimony. And I've been through a lot of different abuse and different things. And so afterwards, somebody was like, how can you just get up there and just talk about it? Like, you weren't crying, you weren't nothing. You just straight up just ministered through your whole testimony. How'd you do that? Because I've healed from it a lot. You know what I mean? So it still affects me. If I meditate on the negativity, I can start crying, but because I've healed from it so much, I can talk about it. I can talk about the ugly things, and it's not, to me, my response time, the more I heal, my response time gets better, meaning I'm quicker to respond and I'm less quicker to react. So to me, I would say it takes a lot of practice. For me, the thing that helps a lot is breathing. I talk to myself a lot. I'll be like, he'll be saying something, and I'm like, Angie, just shh, don't say nothing. Be quiet, girl. You don't need to say nothing. Or I'll be like, Angie, well, like, we just talked about I interrupt a lot. So I'm like, shh, shh, be quiet. Just listen, right? Or if he's having a bad moment with Tone, I'm like, okay, girl, you good. And like, I'm talking to my little Angie, and I'm like, Angie, girl, you all right, you safe. But I know we're giggling, but this really helps me. Like, it really helps me. So like,
after you've done with it, you can laugh about it.
Yeah. So I like breathing. I talk to myself, but I literally will be like, Holy Spirit, are you here? I will bring out, like, okay, you said that you would never leave me and forsake me. You said that you are a way maker. I will bring out scriptures while we're talking, and they calm me down. So he's giggling at me, but that's what happens.
I create scenarios in my head, and so I was just thinking of, somebody doing that, how you're trying to calm yourself down, but it could be distracting to the other person.
But it's all in here. Like, he doesn't know. He might hear me with breathing, but it's not with us because we're usually across from each other. But when we're counseling,
I got a vision of what Dennis was talking about with Angie over there.
Now I'm real chill with my breathing. You wouldn't even know, really. He knows because he's my husband, but I do it under my breath, so you don't know. But to me, I'm doing it all in here, and you can't hear me, so it helps me.
Yeah, I didn't mean that. I'm just thinking.
I'm gonna interrupt y'all because we got to move on to the next point.
Okay.
Before we do that, since I just interrupted you, let's go on a commercial break.
Okay.
All right. So I'm gonna share our flyer from our marriage event that we have coming up. And we're gonna talk to you all about the different people that we have that are gonna be our different session leaders for our marriage event. And so we'll introduce them to you one by one. But if you head over to our website at livingwellmarriage.com, you can find all of the details about the event, anything that you have, or any questions that you have about the event. You will find them there. But we want to share a few things with you about this event. So first of all, our theme for our event has to do with intimacy. So all the different forms of intimacy in relationships, right? And so that's how the weekend has been designed. It has been designed for us to talk about intimacy and have a good time with it. So it's not going to be this somber experience. It's going to be very interactive, very engaging. And we have different people that we thought would help make this event experience an incredible experience for all of you. And so, first of all, we have our own Angie and Dennis Bullock. So they will be leading a session, and we won't go into detail about their session tonight, but we're going to share about our Friday night session tonight. But they are our speakers. We have Pastor Damon and Lady Melissa Davis from Alabama. They'll be here. We'll tell you more about them in a different one of our other Monday night sessions. We have Vernon and Shanika Daniels, who are just incredible people that we just love and adore. They're also marriage leaders, and they have been so instrumental in supporting so many different couples who have gone through some really difficult, challenging times. And actually, I mean, there are so many couples that we could point you to that, as a result of them connecting with Vernon and Shanika, it has their testimony, everything, and just the way that they serve and the way that they love people has helped those couples be able to um, save their marriage. And of course, we give all credit to the Holy Spirit, we give all credit to God, but we also know that God anoints people, and so God definitely has anointed the two of them. And then we have Rich Graves. So I want to talk a little bit about Rich tonight. So Rich is a massage therapist. He's a licensed massage therapist. And he is going to be our session leader for Friday night. So Friday night of our event is an intimate date night experience. So what you're going to experience with that is that we're gonna, you're gonna get all dressed up, dressed to impress your spouse. You're gonna be looking good, smelling good, and then you're gonna come and join us for a very fun date night from 6 to 10 p.m. that night. So we'll open up the night with cocktails, mocktails for us. We do mocktails. We don't do the real deal. Hors d'oeuvres for you and your spouse. So it'll be a fun experience. You'll be able to mingle, connect, and talk to other couples. And then after that, we have this session planned with Rich where he is going to teach us non-sexual touch. So how to build that intimacy, and all intimacy doesn't have to lead to sex. It might, and that would be great too, but it doesn't have to, right? And so it's really us learning how to it's us really learning how to serve each other, how to love each other well. So we're so excited to have Rich come and do that. Angie, Dennis, Daniel, did y'all want to say anything about Rich's session that Friday night?
Oh, well, I'll just say we've done one of his sessions.
Yes.
And now that when I massage my wife, she doesn't tell me to stop. It hurts.
You don't know what you're doing.
You don't know what you're doing. Or do this, don't do that. I don't get all that anymore. So thank you, Rich. And
Rich over here helping
brothers,
out.
So hand clap for Rich.
Yeah.
So yes, if you've not learned how to massage your boo, come on out, because Rich will get you right.
Yes.
Yeah, so this is going to be our first time. I have to say that it's very hard not to touch my wife after a while and, be somewhere else, if you know what I mean. And so now I get to learn from, another way to touch my wife. And
if you wanted to lead to something later on that night, that's totally up to y'all. It's all good. We're not saying that.
Yeah.
We're just trying to give you some tools, right? Yeah, we're just trying to give you some tools. I don't want folks being like, dang, like, okay. But I will say, we talking to Rich and his wife Erica, they have beautiful testimonies of people's marriages being healed by learning how to have non-sexual touch, people's bodies being actually physically healed from their spouses, like, massaging them and different things. And so also different testimonies of people just saying, I didn't know I could do this, right? Or I didn't know it could be like this. So we want it to be a fun experience, a romantic experience, but also this whole weekend's about giving tools. It's about all of us learning and growing. As we were talking earlier, there's just some things we didn't grow up with. So this is an opportunity for us to learn how to serve each other and get more intimate with our spouse in multiple ways. And like I said, if y'all, we haven't had a hotel, y'all. So if y'all want to get a hotel room, you can.
Come on now.
And there's a special price at the hotel.
Yeah.
Right,
yes. We have special pricing.
So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And all that information is on the website at livingwellmarriage.com. livingwellmarriage.com. All
right. So now the last couple of things that we kind of want to go over here. So the last one that we were going to talk about, we're going to skip over it, but I'm going to mention it because it is important. One of the issues that we run into and why we have these same conversations over and over is we avoid having the real hard conversations.
That's right.
So we start talking about whatever and we stay on the surface because we don't want to crack the eggshells, right?
Mm-hmm.
And So that's one of the things that we deal with. So we talked about 3, we talked about 2, and we mentioned this one: fixing instead of listening, interrupting or zoning out, and then not wanting to have those hard conversations. All right. And Dennis kind of mentioned it earlier, but maybe in another way, where when we don't have the hard conversations, the resentment builds underneath, under the surface, until it just blows up. Right. And that's why I end up having knockdown or knockout, not whatever. We have these
knockout dragouts.
Yes. That's that. And for some audience participation. So one phrase your spouse says that instantly makes you feel that they're not listening. All right. So whether you're on replay or whether you're with us right now, is there a particular phrase or sentence that your spouse says that you ain't listening?
And maybe it's not a sentence, maybe it's a thing. Like he said, for me, I get on this, and he's like, oh, she not listening.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Yeah. An action.
Mine is Daniel won't say anything. I'll be like, did you hear what I just said? Are you listening to me? Don't I say that?
You do say that. And sometimes I am listening, and sometimes I'm not.
Honesty. Okay. Yes.
Let me put a defense out there. Yes. For myself. Sometimes I'm working or doing something, and I'm going in, and she will just out of the blue, babe, I need that's it. And I haven't even disconnected from what I'm doing yet. So yeah, I didn't hear what you said. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's good. That's really good.
Yes. So if you got a thing or a phrase or a word that you want to listen. All right. So go ahead and do that. And one thing I want to leave everybody with is a little acronym. And the acronym is RULE. So RULE stands for reflect, basically mirror what you heard. Kendra mentioned that earlier. Right? It has people has the premarital couples turn to each other and repeat what they heard. Understand, we've talked about that a lot today. Ask clarifying questions. All these came up. You came
awesome.
Up with that, right? And then listen actively. Put away the distractions. Angie put down the phone. Daniel put up the computer. Close the laptop. And then empathize or feel with your spouse, not just for them. So that's a good little acronym for you to take into your week this week. Reflect, understand, listen actively, and empathize. All right. Okay. So that's your challenge for the week, folks. What'd you say, Dennis?
I said that was some good stuff. I like that.
Thank you.
That is good.
We got a whole series on communication that we're gonna be exploring throughout the next few weeks. And
as we counting down to our marriage event.
As we count down. And so next week is it prayer next week? Yeah, so next week we got prayer. The week after that, we may be back on live, or we may actually play one of our pre-recorded videos for you guys. And those are good. Dennis and Angie, they held down last week.
Yeah. So, we have some people asking about the book.
That's right. Because I accidentally cut out that part. Talking. What book is that?
Boundaries in Marriage, just in case.
I wonder if they're actually gonna go get it though. Yeah, that book is kind of meaty.
Hey, that book, when we were doing that, me and Dennis kept saying that book is all kind of different steaks. It's a cowboy steak, it's a ribeye, it's a sirloin. That book is meaty. But I would say if people get through that book, they will grow, because that book has so much information and knowledge and tips and wisdom. That is one chock full of wisdom type of book.
Yeah, it was definitely written by a PhD.
Yes, definitely by a doctor.
So some ways that you guys can help us out, and that is you can sign up to our newsletter. Go to I think we can sign up on our site now. livingwellmarriage.com. You can sign up at the bottom for our newsletter so that you don't miss anything that we're doing. And we are actually working on some stuff behind the scenes right now.
Mm-hmm.
And so all those things, as they come out, you'll be notified via our newsletter.
Yep.
So you can stay connected. If you're getting anything out of this, make sure you're subscribed to that newsletter and to our YouTube channel. Now, if you're connected here on Facebook, it's great. However, I think Facebook they delete our lives.
They're going to start deleting the lives after 30 days. Yeah.
30 days.
Yeah.
And so, if you can really connect with us outside of Facebook as well and on YouTube, that would be great. We are definitely posting a lot more on YouTube these days. And we're putting a lot more into our newsletter as well. So that'll keep you connected with us, keep you connected with the things that we are doing, to connect with couples and to help couples moving forward. All right. So do that for us. Link to our live. Go out to our YouTube and subscribe, turn on the notifications and all that good stuff. So during the week when we're posting, when we're putting out content, you won't miss it. You'll get it. And hopefully it'll help you.
And I wanted to say, oh, nope, she just said I was going to say the name of the book, but
you can say it anyway, Angie. Go ahead.
So it's Boundaries in Marriage by Dr. Henry Cloud.
Yep.
Phenomenal book, but it is meaty. So you got to kind of take it little pieces. But it's
if you go to our YouTube channel, like Daniel said, we literally spent 6 weeks, 6 different sessions, 3 from us, 3 from you guys, breaking down that whole book for you. So you don't have to figure it out by yourself. Just head over to our YouTube channel, Living Well Marriage, at Living Well Marriage, all one word, on YouTube, and you'll find our channel, and you'll see on one of the playlists it has boundaries, called Boundaries in Marriage.
Quick shout out to Sherry White. She is our touch group leader.
What's
and
up,
then
Sherry?
Marie Jeannie. We got Florida people representing up in here.
Oh, come on.
Jacksonville.
Boy.
Awesome.
Good stuff. All right. So we're at the top of our hour, and we're going to let you guys go. We thank you for hanging out with us. We appreciate every single second that you hang out with us, because you don't have to. And we appreciate you. We love you. We'll see you guys next week. Peace.
Bye, y'all.